Have you ever dreamt about taking a cruise on one of them fancy boats, soaking up the beauty and the magic just to free your soul? It's floating on the ocean, just a notion that seems out of reach. One thing on your bucket list is just to go and see the beach. You wanna see the world, but something always holds you back. You got that itching feeling, but your dreams got hijacked. There's lots of people out there that never get to cruise, but helping hands is helping making dreams come true.
Helping hands are cruising, cruising. Helping hands are cruising, cruising. Helping hands are cruising, making your dream a reality.
You know you gotta do the things you've only dreamed about. Don't let anything stop you thinking you can't go all out. You can do the things you never thought were possible with helping hands to help you get there. Even oceans are no obstacle. You wanna see the world, but something always holds you back. You got that itching feeling, but your dreams got hijacked. There's lots of people out there that never get to cruise, but helping hands is helping making dreams come true.
Helping hands are cruising, cruising. Helping hands are cruising, cruising. Helping hands are cruising, making your dream a reality.
So if you ever dreamed about taking a cruise in one of them big old boats, soaking up that sun, feel that breeze, yeah, there is still hope. Don't let the ocean be a notion that is out of reach. Let's get together, help each other, and go see the sea. You wanna see the world, but something always holds you back. You've got that itching feeling, but your dreams got hijacked. There's lots of people out there that never get to cruise, but helping hands is helping making dreams come true.
Helping hands are cruising, cruising. Helping hands are cruising, cruising. Helping hands are cruising, making your dream a reality. Helping hands are cruising, cruising. Helping hands are cruising, cruising. Helping hands are cruising, making your dream a reality.
He showed the menu and then he said something about something, like frog leg.
We go find it. We go.
What are those sauces?
No, that's my main course. And
I don't know what that immaturity is.
the dessert is the last.
Sounds Asian. That's
Is the
Carolina.
baked Alaska. I don't know.
I'll bring it to you unless you ate all your food,
Yeah, I've had for like.
I think I need to separate these two. All over all started over like jerk pork.
Frog legs.
Well, g'day folks, welcome aboard, nice to have you here. That was a shot of Kenny on the inaugural cruise, one of his giggle moments. I will find the video of Kenny doing a 37-minute giggle. No, it wasn't a giggle, it was a wet your pants type laugh. That was almost unbelievably good. Almost unbelievably good, but there we go. Okay, first of all, let's say g'day. G'day, Joe. Welcome aboard, buddy. Nice to have you here. Mate, no, this is not Hobart. In fact, you're in the wrong state altogether. Have another think. There is a little clue. I think I might be sitting in front of it. But have a look. Keep on searching. You might get it. Biday Nick, how you going, mate? Welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. In the chat, we've got Facebook user. G'day, mate. How you going? Nice to have you here. Hey, mate, could be one of a couple people. Let me see. It's not that one. It is. I need to actually find the group. I think I know who it is. I think. Let me see. Can I find it? Let me see. Oh, well, it's Joe doing a double-hander. But welcome aboard, buddy. Nice to have you here. Nick is being said to g'day by Joe, and Joe saying he thinks Kenny has got more than the giggles. Mate, he had an absolute ball. Kenny is not an alcoholic, so he will not touch any alcohol, but I'll tell you what, it doesn't take much to get him to giggle. He's just an amazing character. And yes, mate, I gathered it was you. I figured it out. I looked on the channel. Anyway, first things first, let me go through a couple of things. Just looking at what ships are in town. Well, Melbourne had the 20th, the Royal Princess today. On Thursday, we're going to have the Resilient Lady. On Friday, we're going to have the Queen Mary 2. And on Saturday, we're going to have the Viking Orion. Sunday, Grand Princess comes back in for a turnaround. And then on Monday will be the Volendam. So that's what we've got happening out of Melbourne. Out of Sydney, today they had the Queen Elizabeth. Tomorrow is a Seabourn Odyssey out of the Eden Wharf. Ovation of the Seas out of the Overseas Passenger Terminal. That's tomorrow. Also, Seabourn Odyssey will be going out of White Bay tomorrow, so they're doing an overnighter, which seems to be an awesome thing. And then the Insignia is in on, let me see, that's going to be at White Bay. That'll be in on Thursday, as well as the Arcadia, which will be at the Overseas Passenger Terminal. And then they leave out of, they go to Athol Bay, Anchorage for a bit of a break. So that's what's happening out of Sydney. Now let's look at Brisbane, because Brisbane's been a real big flurry these days. So Brizzy today had the Viking Neptune. On Thursday they're going to have the Quantum of the Seas. Then on Friday they're going to have the Seabourn Odyssey, and then Saturday will be the Pacific Encounter with the Arcadia on Sunday. So they've got a pretty busy time. Coral Princess will be there on Monday. So pretty much the season is kind of drawing to a close fairly soon. US Daylight Saving comes in on March the 10th. So you guys across the pond, you'll be gaining an extra hour, losing an extra hour, because you'll get up an hour earlier, but you'll have that extra hour at the end of the day, and then come April 7th we will then gain our extra hour's sleep because we lose daylight saving. And you know what, I couldn't be happier. I don't care much for daylight saving. It's a bit of a pain in the daylight saving. So there we go, folks. That's what's happening in terms of the time changes. So I played Kenny's giggles, but I'll tell you what, that's only a small part of what Kenny has benefited from and will benefit from whatever he does. So for example, with his last cruise, which was the inaugural cruise he did, he was just an amazing guy. He just had a lot of time on his hands. He had a cabin to himself. He was up near the front of the ship. He could see where we were headed, and man, he just had a ball. Lots of food. He tried everything. Literally did change his life and everybody else that was with him, because when he came back home, there were a whole heap of changes that occurred. So right now, Kenny is busy looking at, you never know, he might join us on the Rock and Roll Tribute Cruise. Talking about the Rock and Roll Tribute Cruise, let me just give you a bit of a heads up on it. It is
tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail? A smile from a veil? Do you think you can tell?
There we go. What an awesome cruise we're going to be having. We hope all you guys can come and join us on that cruise. Nick, let me just clarify a couple of things. You have picked the correct state. However, it is the wrong town. Yeah. It's just across the border. I'm not going to tell you which one. It's not just across. It's about a couple of 100 k's away from a border. But I think you'll get it in time. I might give you another hint a little later on. So the rock and roll cruise is really going on. I was talking with Bruce earlier on today, my time. Bruce was saying that currently there are 16 fully booked cabins, plus another 12 cabins that have got a hold on them, plus another 9 cabins which have been utilised for other things like bands and so forth. So we're busy racing along, folks. We just need you all to come and join us. And Joe, why could it not be Wagga Wagga? Give me one good reason. Give me one good reason. And by the way, Joe, do you know what it means? Wagga Wagga. Yeah, we are certainly looking forward to meeting up with everybody. There's, as far as I'm aware, the bands are all set and they're in place. The cruise line is ready and waiting for us. So we're all excited about what's going to transpire with the cruise. Nick, you're hooked on Tim Tams. Now we've got to teach you how to do the slam. The Tim Tam Slam. And in actual fact, when you come down under, we will certainly give you the big education, because you will not be allowed to go to certain places unless you've done a Tim Tam Slam. The orange building doesn't look like a building in the town. Which orange building? There's a couple there. But you mean the one over there or the one behind me? I've been to Wagga Wagga and I don't remember any building being orange. You know, they could have painted it recently. In the main shot. Oh, so this building here, in actual fact, you might see it as orange. To me, it's red. But then I'm colorblind, so what the hell. But yes, Joe, it is Wagga Wagga. What does Wagga Wagga mean? Hopefully you can get it. Anyway, so Amy's cruise is coming up fairly soon. Let me give you a rundown of the dates and times. So Amethyst Haze leaves in 243 days. That's the 21st of October. And they're sailing out of, they're on the Carnival Breeze. And they're sailing out of Galveston. And I know they're doing Cozumel and Progresso and then back into Galveston again. So that's going to be an awesome cruise. On there will be Roxanne. She'll be having her inaugural cruise, so she's going to enjoy it. She's going to have an absolute ball, and that's going to be really exciting. After that, we've got Christmas Day in 309 days. Then we've got New Year's in 315. Followed very closely by the Ducks in 317, and we'll be doing our cruise out of Sydney. There we go. Joe is saying, I know, but I've forgotten. Bloody old age syndrome. Mate, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. When you get to old fart status like me, you'll know what it's all about to be old. Nick is saying he's never heard of Wagga Wagga. Hey, Nick, look it up on Dr. Google. Wagga Wagga is in the state of New South Wales. The name Wagga Wagga is an Aboriginal name and it means land of many crows. That's what it means, but they've mixed it up with other stuff, and so, you know, all things could be different. Anyway, it is quite a big town, and it borders on the Yarra River. As well as, I think it's part of the Murray as well, but I think it's mostly Yarra. Joe is saying to Nick that it's the biggest area where most of Australia's food is grown in the Riverina. And yes, Wagga Wagga all the way through up to Mudgee, which is even further up past you. Lots of wineries around Mudgee anyway. Nick is saying 96 days till he lands at Brizzy Airport. Mate, you're going to have a ball. Can tell you now. I know what Brizzy's like. Right now they're busy cleaning the streets for you. And they're making it nice and tidy for you so that when you arrive you'll be fine. Thank you for correcting me, Joe. It is actually on the Murrumbidgee River. Not the Yarra. Well, the Yarra's not that far down from the Murrumbidgee, and also the Murray as well is not that far away either. Where it is, it's just sort of. But yes, it is Murrumbidgee River. Known very well for its cattle, sheep, and basic and general farming in that area there. Wagga Wagga also has a military base not far from there, I believe. Puckapunyal is on the way, but it's not that. It is a while away, but there is a military base close by. So there we go. It is a great part of the country. Whenever you drive on your way from Melbourne up through to Sydney, you will go past Wagga Wagga. You may not actually go through the town, because it depends on which route you take. But if you're going straight up through on the Hume Highway, the Hume Highway will take, or actually it's the Hume Freeway at that point. The Hume Freeway will take you bypassing Wagga Wagga, but if you went on the Hume Highway, you would actually drive through Wagga Wagga. And yeah, Ned Kelly is supposed to have spent some time there as well, I believe. But I could be corrected. I've been known to be wrong at least once or twice. But I know that my encyclopedia by the name of Joe Hupp will be there and help me out. A YouTube channel that Nick just started following a couple of weeks ago called Chloe and Ludwig is reviewing the Resilient Lady. Their latest video showed stops in Burnie and Hobart. Yep, those are both in Tasmania. Burnie's at the top end, Hobart is down near the bottom. Hobart's a nice little island. We quite that's where Jonesy comes from, is Tasmania. That channel, Nick is saying that channel is based out of New Zealand. The man is from Sweden originally, and the woman is native Kiwi. Well, it's cool. I better catch up with them. You would hear them speaking in or her in particular. She'd have a weird accent. Accent. She would be having fish and chips, and she would also be having dinner at 6, and she would be using some product called Cavits, which is a dick cleaner, and they use that to well, it's actually oils and stuff that you put on your timber dicks, you know, the things that your chairs and tables are out on, or when you're outside. Yeah, you generally have a dick on the back of your house, and you would have a barbecue, and that barbecue would be on that deck where you would be eating lots and lots of yummy food. It's a bad rendition of a New Zealand accent, but hey, a lot of people confuse South Africans for being Kiwis. But then again, I've been here way longer than I've been in South Africa, so I am a true blue Aussie. Well, I'm an Aussie. I won't say I'm true blue, purely because I don't like Vegemite. But anyway, there we go. All right, getting back to the cruises. 317 days on the till the Ducks cruise. Then we've got Bruce from Ocean to Ocean doing his cruise in 480 days, and that's going on the 15th of June 2025 out of Seattle and headed up towards Alaska. And then 29th of November, which is 647 days away, we will be on the Norwegian Joy enjoying the Rock and Roll Tribute Cruise. So there we go. All right, now Joe is saying that Wagga Wagga is an interesting town. It's the second largest place in regional New South Wales with 71,241 residents. The largest city in regional New South Wales is Maitland in the Hunter Valley with 90,266 residents. Hey, Joe, any idea what number of residents does a town need to have before it becomes a city? Do you know? Kiwis wouldn't be having a barbecue, they'd be having a hangi. Well, that depends, mate. If you were Maori, then yes, I'd agree they'd be having a hangi. But non-Maoris would be having a barbie. Maoris, Tongans, Samoans, I don't know about Fijians, but Tongans, Samoans, and Maoris would be having their hangis. Have you ever had a hangi, Joe? What a full-blown meal, and it's amazing the way they cook. Nick is saying, and to touch on something he brought up on Friday's live stream, he's not bringing his custom suit with him to Australia. He's working on keeping his suitcase lighter. That suit is heavy. Oh, okay. So, yeah, okay, you'll have to, alright, well then, luckily there's no formal dress code on the passenger trains across Australia. Hey, it's not the trains that we're talking about, because there are some other exciting, and then, yeah. Yeah, I am talking about the back dick. The back dick is really much better than the front dick. Because the back dick is right next to where the Barbie is. Thank you for that, body. Thank you very much. Joe is saying to become a city, a town needs to house at least 50,000 people. So then my question is, Maitland, is it a city or a town? Because you said to me it's got 90,000 residents in it. So, have they classed that as a city yet? Oh boy, what an awesome place this country is. So much for you to look at and see, and Nick, you're going to get just a little bit of a taste of it as you track with your train trip along. It is indeed a city. Now wait a minute, let me just go back up and see what you said. You said the largest city. Yeah, you're right, you did. And I read over it and I missed it. Okay, Bonnie is saying I can just about understand an Aussie accent. Lots of people in the UK have Aussie accents, but the New Zealand accent has me flustered. Yeah, the New Zealand accent is one of those interesting ones. It's where they've taken the letter and they've slammed a hammer on the top of it to flatten it. That's what it sounds like. Dubbo is a city, as we have almost 40,000. 50,000 people makes a city. Okay, well that's cool. You've got a city council and all that, and yeah, okay. Nick's saying you'll get a bigger taste of Australia. Oh, excuse me, it's been a long week. Nick will get a bigger taste of Australia in one trip. Oh, bless me, excuse me. Than most people get in a lifetime. Not many people go coast to coast from north to south and then east to west. No, you are correct. Joe has to correct himself on the number. To become a city in Australia, the town needs a minimum of 30,000. Okay, so I'm really glad that you corrected yourself, because I was wrong and you were wrong, and now we're both right. So thank you for that, mate. You've made my day. Bonnie is saying she spoke to someone on a customer service line a few weeks ago and correctly guessed that the guy was from South Africa. He was amazed that I recognised his accent. What was he selling you? Stream Elements comes in here saying Helping Hands would like to thank you for your donations. Folks, we had, as you know, 2 weeks ago, 2 Saturdays ago, 2 Friday nights ago, we had our cruiseathon, and the final tally is we made $3,700. That's good news, because that means we can get one full group on a a person and their carer up on board a cruise ship. So that makes us really excited, but we want to double that if we can. In fact, we want to make it 4 times the amount. Joe is saying all good. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate that. Okay, so the Ducks cruise will be going out of Sydney and heading up to the South Pacific. Of all the cruises that I've mentioned before, the one going out of Sydney is a 15-day, so it's the longest cruise in the itinerary for the Helping Hands for Cruising group. Bonnie is saying that he was working for AT&T and she was trying to get her phone service and internet service repaired. Were they able to help you, Bonnie? The South African accent is based loosely on the German language. Afrikaans is the native language of South Africa, and it's loosely based on German. Actually, Joe, you are incorrect with that one. The South African language, the South African accent is based on the Dutch language. The original founders or people that went into South Africa were the Dutch, and they brought in a language. They brought in Dutch, and Afrikaans is basically Kitchen Dutch. It's a break-off from that. Does have a mix of languages in it. It does have a bit of French in it, a bit of German in it, but predominantly it's Dutch in origin. So I can understand someone who's speaking Dutch, and also Flemish I can understand. In fact, I understand Flemish better than I understand Dutch, to be honest. Nick is saying, I've been killing free time watching these border security shows. Still can't believe how many things people try to pull at the international borders. Mate, you are right. Well, I just corrected you, Joe, but yes, good on you, mate. Good on you. Nick is saying, got to always be honest, never lie to a customs agent, never worth it. Because they can send you home if they have to. Well, I tell you what, Nick. When we went into Houston, Ilana got really upset with me. She said, "Shut your mouth. Don't say anything. Just yes, no, and maybe, and we'll get through customs quite happily." Well, I didn't say anything, and we got through customs. Joe's saying this is why he mentioned, if he remembers correctly. Nick's saying the Dutch were the original settlers of New York City. It was originally called New Amsterdam. Yeah, originally there was a company called the Dutch East India Company. And the Dutch East India Company went around, this was in the late mid-1600s. They sailed around the world and colonized various places so that they could pick up various goods and so forth. So in South Africa, they landed in the Cape of Good Hope, and they needed to do that. So when they did that, hang on a sec, I'm just going to do this. Okay, there we go. They had to do that. They had to stop at the Cape of Good Hope so that they could get some supplies. They suffered from things like scurvy and so forth. So there we go. That was the Dutch East India Company. They then went down to places again like well, they sailed across. They also came into Australia, and Tasmania was called Van Diemen's Land or Van Diemen's Land. That is the Dutch way of pronouncing it. So and then we later on changed Van Diemen's Land to Tasmania. That's just a bit of history there. Bonnie is saying she's still banging her head against the wall trying to get AT&T to take care of her problem. They sent her a new modem. They sent the wrong one. I need one with coax cable. Now I have to return the one they sent. Pay an Uber to drive her to a UPS or FedEx store to return. Are you kidding me? Seriously? Nick is saying he finds it interesting too how a small country like Portugal influenced Brazil enough over the years with the native language of Brazil is Portuguese. Well, okay, so Nick, Portugal not only went to Brazil, but they also came down to Africa to a place called Angola, and they also went to a place called Mozambique. Now, Angola is on the, if you're looking at the map of Africa, Angola is on the left-hand side, Mozambique is on the right-hand side, with a whole lot of countries in between. So the Portuguese came in, stopped at Angola, went round to Mozambique, and started their influence there. Other countries in Africa that were of Portuguese origin, I don't think there were any others. They might have tried a bit in South Africa, but that didn't work. So there we go. That's a bit of African history for you. Nick is saying Van Diemen's Land, they reference that name in the song Black Velvet Band, a song that ties into Ireland and specifically Belfast. Yes, because when the British sent down the colonists, not the colonists, the criminals down here, they were all a majority of them were of Irish, Welsh, and Cockney descent, and those are the ones that came down here to the land of Oz. They took over all the states except for South Australia, because in South Australia they were free settlers, but everywhere else there was a penal colony. Started off in Sydney as the biggest, and then came down to Victoria, the state of Victoria, Melbourne, and then Tasmania as well. Bonnie is saying she's old enough to remember when New York was New Amsterdam. Just kidding. So many neighbourhoods in Brooklyn have Dutch-based names. But then also New York ended up getting quite a bit of a, specifically Brooklyn and so forth, ended up getting quite a Irish and also Italian cohort. Am I correct? Nick is saying, I don't know if you can tell, but in my YouTube picture, he's holding 2 spaghetti ices in Hamburg. Yeah, I saw that. But I'll tell you what, I saw Nick's, I saw Darian's picture, and he had somebody there making spaghetti ice. So that was exciting. That was funny. Anyway, yeah, it's all excitement. All excitement. So, the good news is Helping Hands is progressing. We've got a board meeting coming up in a week and a half. Currently, our focus right now is on the RNR Tribute Cruise, getting that all sorted, and we're getting the numbers involved in there, which is going to be absolutely awesome. We currently have our focus also on Amy's cruise. We want to get as many people as we can right now. There are 10 people or 5 cabins, as far as I'm aware, that have been booked, and so we're trying to get some more on Amy's group cruise, which will be an exciting group cruise. Cannot wait to hear from Roxy when she gets back. Bruce is also looking for a recipient. So if anybody knows of anybody they think needs a cruise and have not cruised before, please let us know and we'll get that all sorted. Bonnie is saying Brooklyn is truly a melting pot, people from all over the world, but the old neighborhoods have many streets with names that start with Funda, or you would say Vanda. In Dutch, the V is pronounced as the letter F. Funda. So there we go. Okay, well, folks, tomorrow the Down Under Cruisers will not be having a live stream. I believe Sean and Ilana. Okay, Ilana and I have a commitment with my parents for dinner, so we will not be back in time to be able to get a live stream going. Also, on Friday night, I believe that we may not be able to make a live stream. However, we will have something put up for that day. The reason why we will not be able to make a live stream is I actually have to work. So with that in mind, folks, I'm going to wish you all an awesome day today. And in fact, an awesome week. And I will catch you all very soon. Have a great day. Take care. And thank you for your patronage.
Have you ever dreamt about taking a cruise on one of them fancy boats, soaking up the beauty and the magic just to free your soul? It's floating on the ocean, just a notion that seems out of reach. One thing on your bucket list is just to go and see the beach. You wanna see the world, but something always holds you back. You got that itching feeling, but your dreams got hijacked. There's lots of people out there that never get to cruise, but Helping Hands is helping making dreams come true.
Helping Hands for cruising, cruising. Helping Hands for cruising, cruising. Helping Hands for cruising.
dreamed about. Don't let anything stop you thinking you can't go all out. You can do the things you never thought were possible, with helping hands to help you get there. Even oceans are no obstacle. You wanna see the world, but something always holds you back. You got that itching feeling, but your dreams got hijacked. There's lots of people out there that never get to cruise, but helping hands is helping making dreams come true.
Helping hands for cruising, cruising. Helping hands for cruising, cruising. Helping hands for cruising. Making your dreams a reality.
So if you ever dreamed about taking a cruise in one of them big old boats, soaking up that sun, feel that breeze, yeah, there is still hope. Don't let the ocean be a notion that is out of reach. Let's get together, help each other, and go see the sea. You wanna see the world, but something always holds you back. You've got that itching feeling, but your dreams got hijacked. There's lots of people out there that never get to cruise, but helping hands is helping making dreams come true.
Helping hands